Have you ever felt like someone was trying to control your thoughts or actions, but you couldn't quite put your finger on how they were doing it? Well, you're not alone. Manipulators often use subtle phrases that sound innocent on the surface, but are actually designed to make you doubt yourself and bend to their will. Hello, I've spent the last 15 years studying psychological manipulation and its effects on relationships and mental health. Today, we're going to uncover 7 psychological phrases that manipulators commonly use to control others. By the end of this video, you'll be better equipped to recognize these tactics and protect yourself from their harmful effects. Let's start with a sobering fact. Psychological manipulation is far more common than most people realize. It can occur in any relationship, romantic partnerships, friendships, family dynamics, and even professional settings. The key to defending yourself is awareness. So let's dive into these phrases and unpack their hidden meanings. Phrase number 1, you're too sensitive. Now this might seem like a harmless observation, but it's actually a classic gaslighting technique used to invalidate your emotions. Imagine you're in a relationship and your partner consistently makes hurtful comments about your appearance. When you express that this upsets you, they respond with, "You're too sensitive. I was just joking." This phrase shifts the blame onto you, making you question whether your feelings are valid. By using this tactic, manipulators attempt to erode your self-trust. They want you to doubt your own perceptions and emotions, making you more susceptible to their influence. Remember, your feelings are valid, and you have every right to express them. Moving on to phrase number 2, you're overreacting. This is another manipulative tactic designed to make the victim feel guilty for defending themselves. Let's consider a workplace scenario. You've been working overtime for weeks, and when you finally ask your boss for some time off, they respond with, "You're overreacting. Everyone works hard here." This dismissive response not only invalidates your concerns, but also implies that you're being unreasonable. The goal here is to make you feel ashamed for standing up for yourself. Manipulators use this phrase to maintain control and avoid addressing the real issues at hand. It's crucial to recognize that advocating for your needs is not an overreaction. It's a healthy form of self-care. Phrase number 3 is particularly insidious. If you really loved me, you'd do it. This is a clear example of emotional blackmail, designed to bypass your logical thinking and appeal directly to your emotions. Imagine a friend constantly asking you to lend them money, despite never paying you back. When you hesitate, they hit you with this phrase. It's a guilt trip that exploits your affection and sense of loyalty. This manipulation tactic puts you in an impossible position. If you refuse, you feel like you're failing as a friend or partner. If you comply, you're compromising your own boundaries and potentially putting yourself in a difficult situation. Remember, true love and friendship don't require you to compromise your values or well-being. Let's pause for a moment. Are you starting to see how these phrases might have shown up in your own life? It's okay if you've fallen for these tactics before. We all have at some point. The important thing is that you're here now, learning to recognize them. All right, let's continue with phrase number 4. You're the only one I can trust. While this might sound like a compliment, it's often a manipulative tactic used to create guilt and pressure to stay in a toxic situation. Consider a scenario where a coworker constantly gossips about others to you, then says, "You're the only one I can trust with this information." This puts you in an uncomfortable position, feeling obligated to keep their secrets and maintain their confidence. This phrase is designed to make you feel special and indispensable, but it's actually a way of isolating you and ensuring your loyalty. It can make you feel responsible for the manipulator's emotional well-being, making it harder for you to set boundaries or walk away from the relationship. Phrase number 5 is a classic isolation technique. Everyone else thinks you're wrong. This is used to manipulate your perception of reality and separate you from potential support systems. For example, imagine you're in a group project and you disagree with the direction it's taking. The project leader might say, "Everyone else thinks your idea won't work. You're the only one who doesn't see it." This phrase is particularly effective because it plays on our natural desire to fit in and be accepted. It can make you doubt your own judgment and feel alienated from the group. Remember, just because someone claims that everyone thinks something doesn't make it true. Trust your instincts and don't be afraid to seek out other perspectives. The sixth phrase we'll discuss is one you've probably heard before. I was just joking. This is often used after a hurtful comment to avoid accountability. Picture this. You're at a family gathering, and your sibling makes a cutting remark about your career choices. When they see your hurt expression, they quickly add, "Oh, come on, I was just joking. Can't you take a joke?" This phrase is a classic example of what psychologists call Schrodinger's douchebag. Someone who decides whether they were joking or not based on the reaction of the people around them. It's a way of testing boundaries and then backtracking if they've gone too far. By framing their hurtful comments as jokes, manipulators gaslight you into thinking you're the problem for being offended. And finally, we come to phrase number 7. You're remembering it wrong. This is perhaps the purest form of gaslighting, directly attempting to alter the victim's perception of reality. Imagine you confront your partner about a promise they made and didn't keep. They respond with, "That never happened. You're remembering it wrong." This phrase is particularly damaging because it targets your trust in your own memory and perception. Over time, consistent use of this tactic can lead victims to constantly second-guess themselves, making them more vulnerable to further manipulation. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. Have you encountered any of these phrases in your own life? Perhaps you've even used some of them yourself without realizing their manipulative nature. It's important to remember that we're all capable of manipulative behavior, often unconsciously. The key is to become aware of these patterns and actively work to communicate more honestly and directly. So, what can you do if you recognize these phrases being used against you? First and foremost, trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't be afraid to call out manipulative behavior when you see it. You could say something like, "I understand that's your perspective, but I don't agree that I'm being too sensitive. My feelings are valid." Secondly, set clear boundaries. Let the person know that you won't tolerate this kind of communication. It might sound like this: "I don't appreciate being told that I'm remembering things wrong. If we have different recollections, let's discuss them respectfully." Lastly, seek support. Manipulation thrives in isolation, so reach out to trusted friends, family members, or a professional therapist. They can provide an outside perspective and help you navigate difficult relationships. Remember, recognizing these manipulative phrases is the first step towards protecting yourself from their harmful effects. By being aware and setting clear boundaries, you can maintain healthier, more honest relationships in all areas of your life. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about these important psychological concepts. Understanding manipulation tactics not only protects you, but also helps create a more honest and compassionate world. If you found this information valuable, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more insights into human behavior and mental health. And remember, your feelings and perceptions are valid. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Goodbye.